This tutorial will be walking you through cleaning up and refining the edges around your clone. So that's mainly in areas of overlap, which is where I have this dog in the front overlapping this dog in the background. And you can see a little bit of the couch coming through and overlapping the dog in the background, which you don't want. So you want it to look like they're occupying the same space and making it really work. So what I'm going to be doing to adjust and refine those edges is using my paintbrush tool and making sure that I have my layer selected that needs refined. So that's my top layer here. I'm going to click on my mask, and using my paintbrush tool I'm able to erase away some of those couch edges. So you'll see some of those edges being refined there. Now something you'll notice is that as I'm doing this, it's pretty easy to erase too much. So if you erase too much, you can switch back to white and start to bring those areas back so that you're not getting rid of too much of that space. So you could either just keep working back and forth like that, or something else that you could do that might save a little bit of time is use your selection tool. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to use my selection tool, and I'm going to select the space around the dog, so around this top layer. So again, I need to be on this layer that's the overlap in the front, and I'm going to select my picture, and using my selection tool, which again is on the left side over here, I'm going to select the outside of this dog, and you'll notice that it just automatically picked up all of that space for me. So you don't have to do too much work, just let the selection tool do it for you. If you need to add to your selection, make sure you have this little selection with the plus button so I can continue and add a little bit more to it. Or if you select too much, you can go back with the subtraction tool, so subtract from selection, and start to get rid of areas that you don't want selected. Once you have everything that you need selected, go up to the top of your screen where it says select and mask. So I'm going to click on this, and mine comes up right away with this pink overlay. If yours does not, I would go to the view mode over here and change it so you have the pink overlay. That way, everything that is pink you have deselected. Everything that is in color is what's selected. And the main thing that we're looking for is that edge right around the outside of our clone. So that's how we want it to be. You can refine your edge though and make sure that all the details show up, especially areas with fur or hair that are super detailed. Is important to include this step. So make sure you try this. But on the left side over here, select the Refine Edge brush tool, which should be the second thing there. Double check that all your settings are like this, so making your opacity set to 50%. You can adjust some of these and see what they will do for you as you're working. But for now, I'm just going to leave the settings as they were, and I'm going to start to paint around the outside of my selection, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit more of what it's doing. But as I'm painting with this Refine Brush Edge tool, it's starting to pick up more details in the dog fur that were not selected before. So it's doing the work for you again, just getting all those details and edges refined so you have a really good cutout. But when you're finished, hit OK, and it will go back to your cutout like this. And what you're going to do is go back to your mask. So I'm going to click on my mask, and I'm going to select my brush tool again. And right now I have the white selected, so that's erasing this dog in the background, which I don't want. So I'm going to undo that, Command Z, and I'm going to switch to black. So black is the color that we're going to use for this. And as I paint this black over my dog here, it really refines those edges and gets rid of that little bit of couch that was in the background. So now that I'm finished, I'm going to hit Command and then D on my keyboard, and that gets rid of my selection. Now you'll notice that I still have a little bit of the edge that could be refined, and most images will be a little bit easier and work a little bit better. So what you could do from there is just use a feathered brush and try and go back with a low opacity and start to refine those edges even more. But for the most part, most images work a little bit better. The other thing that you can do if you have areas like this where the background is darker, is you can select your layer that issue is on, and you can start to refine the edge a little bit more with the black and with your brush. Again, try using a feathered edge or a feathered brush, and I would try to lower the opacity so you can really just kind of make that area fade a little bit. So I'm trying to get rid of that line so it's not as obvious that the dog is cut out. You can go around all of your layers and make sure you're refining all those edges. So I could go back and find this dog on the left, go to that layer, and again just keep working and refining those edges so that the couch blends in. So I'm getting rid of that dark edge.